Hello guys, today we're gonna do a working buttonholes on this cuff of this beautiful Neapolitan jacket. Please follow along with me as I guide you through the process. Distance from the edge is 1 3/4. This is a standard distance based on our client requirements. This is the standard of their brand as a Neapolitan style. And from the edge seam of the sleeves we measure half an inch, and then half an inch again from that first half an inch. You just square it up and then we measure 1 centimeter from the first buttonhole. So the distance of these buttonholes will be 1 centimeter. As you can see, when you mark it, it needs to be precise. Again, 1 centimeter distance is casing buttonholes. The standard distance for a standard cuff buttonhole is 1.5. In this case, since we are doing Neapolitan style, we're gonna go for 1 centimeter, and it's gonna be casing working buttonholes. Again, we check 1 3/4 from the edge. It needs to be perfectly parallel to each other. Now let's do the right sleeves with the same exact measurements. Just a side note here, guys, the sleeves is perfect, so we don't need to touch it, we don't need to lengthen it, we don't need to shorten it. We just need to add a working buttonholes. Here, the same, we need to make sure it's 1 3/4 from the edge. You need to measure like this, a bit further, like so that we are sure that the line is parallel to the hem of the sleeves. Here we need to cut the basting thread because we need to open it. After this we need to do a machine stitch. I'm gonna show you in a bit. And now we're gonna machine it. Make sure that the stitching is very close to each other. This is to hold all the layers together tightly. So simply stitch right at the edge of the marking. So the chalk will be in between those stitching basically. So if you want to measure it, it's gonna be like a little bit wider than 2 millimeter, but less than 3 millimeter. Later you will see why. So I just stitch it like that, go straight. Make sure that your thread at least matching the actual color of the garment that you are working on. You don't want to use black, for example, even though later you're gonna cover it with the buttonhole stitching. You don't want it to be black because it will still show, and you don't want that. So now it's done. Now we just need to clean the stitching a little bit, cut the excess threads. Here I'm just trying to remark the lines, make it more visible again. And now we're gonna prepare for the punching of the buttonhole. Here we have a piece of fabric, a little bit thicker, so that when you punch a hole, it goes through nicely and clean. Here you need to be very careful that before you punch, make sure that the hole goes exactly in the center of the mark. If you're wondering what's the size of the hole, it's very close to 3 millimeter in diameter. 3 millimeter or an 8 in diameter. You can go a little bit smaller if you want to, but in this particular case, since we have a template from the brand that we are working on, the template is this size. How I know the template? You just check the front buttonholes. You will see how is the proportion should be. This is not to say that you need to do the same hole, keyhole, as the front buttonholes. When I say front, that's the front of the jacket. You don't need to follow that exact hole because it's gonna be big. What you can do is to go a notch smaller based on the front buttonhole. That way you are not far in terms of proportion. So here we just need to relieve the mark again, because as you move, the marking also moves. It's to make sure that later when we cut it exactly on our mark. Same here, double check, make sure we have a clear mark. Especially this line needs to be absolutely straight. We will now cut our first buttonhole. I normally start from the top. because that would be my test, and I can improve my buttonholes as I go down. And now I cut it exactly where the line is as per my mark. And then we just need to start the buttonhole stitching. As you can notice here, I don't use GIMP in this specific scenario. Again, it's because the style of the jacket that we're doing is Neapolitan. We want to maintain the lightness of this jacket, even in the small details like the buttonholes. You can also see this similar approach in the front buttonholes, the lapel buttonholes. It's light and it's not thick like we used to see in a hand stitch buttonholes. I must say that this is not really a beginner's friendly guide. This is more of a overview of what kind of handwork that goes to each garment in this level of craftsmanship. In case you want to learn the basic of doing a buttonhole stitching by hand, please let me know down in the comments below. I would be happy to create another video focusing on how to really do the buttonhole stitching step by step. And I must say that it takes time to control, to have a discipline on how to really push the needle, pull the thread, tightness, the distance of each stitching, the direction of the pull, all this kind of stuff. On the second buttonholes, I will show you a little bit of a close-up video on how I did the second buttonholes. That way you will have an idea. So this buttonholes, again, is very light. I don't have even the first round of loose stitching, because in a standard working buttonhole you will have first a loose round kind of stitching around the edges of the cut, and then you use the gimp, and then you start the buttonhole stitching. But then again, I will show you in my next videos. I think I'm gonna make a series focusing on buttonholes, different kind of buttonholes. If you're interested, please let me know down below. I would love to do it for you guys. I'm almost done here. Then we need to lock it up. We need to have a bar tack. We call it bar tack. In Italian, they call it barchetta. Let me know if that's correct. So from this point onwards, it's gonna be the same steps, the same sequence. If you want to follow along, I will just leave it as normal speed. Normally I would speed it up, but this time I will let you observe how I did the rest of the buttonholes. And now we're done with our left sleeves. As you can see here, if you're gonna compare it with the original buttonholes, it's not far. The way it looks is very similar to what is the standard of this brand. So this is just to say that each buttonholes has their own characteristics as well. So for example, in Savile Row English tailoring, their buttonholes is slightly different. It's more rigid, and of course it has a gimp. And when it comes to the keyhole, they pull it in a different direction to create a different look. So now I'm just marking the holes for the buttons so that I can put the buttons after this. So I'm gonna do the same on the right. I'll see you when I'm done. Right sleeves done. I'm just gonna press the buttonholes on the wrong side first. Make it flat. I'm gonna do the same on the other sleeves. I just tap it a little bit with my finger just to confirm that it's cool enough to move. We normally use a clapper, but I cannot find it. So now I'm gonna use this tailoring ham to cool it after I steam and pressed it. That way it's nice and flat. Let's do the left. This buttonholes is easier to do, but it takes as much time as if you do the other kind of buttonholes with a gimp. But it's the same principle really. Just a matter of style. Because you cannot put a rigid buttonholes in this jacket. It will not match the front buttonholes. It will look silly. So the way I do it, I always look at the overall style of a garment, and then I proceed with the kind of alteration that is really suiting for the garment itself. So now we're done with the pressing. The next is the buttons to be stitched. The thread that we are using here is also 100% silk. The thickness is almost the same as the buttonhole thread. The color, we are matching the original color that is used in the front buttons. It is not provided by the company, so the good thing is I have a spare of this dark gray thread that I'm using right now. The standard way of touching the buttons. It's just 2 loops each holes. 2 loops, that's it. Do not go anywhere. So for example, that's 1, and then 2. We did already the first 2, and then lock it, and then you loop it 4 times. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Lock it up, and then you go to the next mark, the next button position. And then same. Two loops times 2. So that's 1. That's 2. And then start with the other part. That's 1. That's 2. Go down, and then 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You lock it up. So it's consistent. It's 4 loops in total, and then 4 round loops as well. Make sure the back is clear. You don't catch it. That one, no. I catch a little bit, so I need to remove the needle and then do it again to make sure I don't catch the lining. Okay. And then it's gonna be the same. I'm not gonna speed it up. I want you to see the real process in real time. That's why you appreciate more the craftsmanship, the handwork. So if you see some luxury jackets that they say cuff buttonholes are done by hand, this is basically the process that went through. This material is really easy to work with. This is linen, woolen, silk. So that's why it's a bit easier. If you're working with loosely weave fabric, then that's challenging. And of course, any feedback. This is my first video under my new YouTube channel called DullNeedle. Any suggestions, any comments, just let me know. Be happy to hear your thoughts, your feedback, guys. Normally, if I don't do the video recording, I would done it a little bit quicker. But because doing the video recording takes me a little bit more extra time to do this work, to do this project. Main reason I'm doing this is to share to my fellow tailors, because I lead tailors as well, so I teach tailors. So this is my way how to share to them my knowledge, in case they want to know something, any alterations, especially in menswear. So if I need something to show them, I would just make a video, put it in my YouTube. That's it. Share the link. And then it's easier for both parties, isn't it? So now I'm just checking the buttons fits, yeah. So that's how it's gonna look after we put the buttons, kissing buttons. I think I'm starting to like this kissing buttons style. It's more unique. And it shows craftsmanship, because this is not easy. Just to put the buttons together, if it's kissing, it takes a little bit of extra effort to make sure it's attached properly. Not too tight, not too loose. So that's done. Left is done. So now we do the right. Same procedure, you guys. So yeah, if you have any requests, any type of alterations you want me to cover, please let me know down below. I will be checking all of them, and then I will try my best to show you guys. Okay, right sleeve also done. So this is the end of our small project together. I'm just checking here, everything good. Check if we need to do something else. Now let's see. So you see the front. Oh, that's our finished product, you guys. Yeah, I hope you appreciate the workmanship that goes in this kind of jackets. No, it's nice and neat at the back. The threads not showing. That's how it's supposed to be. Nice and neat. Nice and neat. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. This is James from the DullNeedle. See you in the next one.